part three of the conflict and evolutionary video. But anyway, so from a Hindu fundamentalist perspective, so within Hinduism, because of the agrarian influence and the vegetarianism, as seen as more of a purer way of living, or living in more of a balance without causing any sort of undue damage or harm to other living organisms. Um, from an evolutionary perspective, I mean, this is so modern day Hindu fundamentalists um, view non-vegetarians as somehow living outside the balance of nature from their perspective, which is quite surprising because I mean we're omnivores and so are they, and a lot of them who tend to espouse the benefits of vegetarianism tend to be meat eaters in secret. I know that for a fact because my family is an example. I've seen that as an example in terms of hiding the fact that they're eating meat, which is quite hysterical and terrifying at the same time that they're able to participate in a movement where they're espousing the benefits of vegetarianism while simultaneously partaking in it, which is the contradiction of fundamentalists from every perspective, whether it's sex or whether it's vegetarianism or whether it's espousing a certain form of morality. But yeah, so from an evolutionary perspective, now the conflicts that are arising within certain movements and certain subgroups within trying to bring a certain version of morality from their perspective without understanding that we're omnivores and that uh, the overall impact on the environment is not being taken into consideration by the Hindu movements or the vegetarian movements, because clearing farmland destroys wildlife and the micro ecosystems there, and they become out of balance, and soil depletion and so forth. So that damage is not being equated into their morality. I wonder whether, from an evolutionary perspective, this makes sense in terms of what's happening now, as with respect to how the agrarian transfer point or transitionary point played a role, and the progressive, attempts to gather influence through, creating sort of the vegetarian movement for whatever reason. Let me know what you guys think, or whether I'm out to lunch.